questions? Looks like we're live. All right. Call this conference committee to order. We are here regarding Senate File 38, decentralized autonomous organizations, to address the differences between the House and Senate version. There were 3 House amendments to consider, and the first amendment incorporates a series of fees. This was House second reading amendment number 1. $1,000 fee as well as $150 fee for changing the articles of organization. House second reading amendment number 3 was a change to the provision for withdrawal from the Dow and a requirement that be unilaterally allowed by providing information to the registered agent. And then the final third reading amendment number 2 from the House was a deletion of the requirement of updating the articles of organization when smart contracts changed. And it's my understanding that that was specifically to address the enhanced fees that go along with the change to the article of organization. I think we have some good compromise solutions to propose, Mr. Co-Chairman. The first of those, on the second reading amendment number 1 regarding the fees. The fees, Mr. Co-Chairman, I would say are outside of the scope of the original title. That was certainly a concern that the Senate had. It's my understanding that in the debate, one of the big concerns was the specific issuing a certificate of authority for a foreign decentralized autonomous organization. And within the title, it would be my proposal to delete all of the fee increases, but prohibit through language, the Secretary of State shall not issue a certificate of authority for a foreign decentralized autonomous organization, which is both within the title and between the 2 positions, in my view, as we're addressing a portion of that amendment. I would propose that as a compromise. That then would take care of the third amendment because we would no longer have the fee increase associated with it. So it would be my proposal to delete third reading amendment number 2, since it would be remedied by the changes to that first amendment. And then my understanding on second reading amendment number 3 was a concern with the default withdrawal position that's listed in the original bill, which currently requires a vote of the majority of the members of the Dow to allow withdrawal as default. The new language would be allowing it unilateral through the registered agent, which in our discussions wouldn't work. It's just not the nature of a Dow, unfortunately, and I think that's not workable. So the suggestion would be to actually just strike all of the new language, as well as strike the second half that caused the heartburn in the Senate version. And I was going to pull that up. Let's see, where's my withdrawal? That's dissolution, almost there. So the first sentence reads, a member may only withdraw from a decentralized autonomous organization in accordance with the terms set forth in the articles of organization, the smart contracts, or if applicable, the operating agreement. Then it goes on with if no terms and conditions for withdrawal of a member are set forth. My suggestion for a compromise would be to just strike that language, which would then indicate that you have to look to the articles of organization for conditions of withdrawal. And at that point, we don't have to worry about what the default position is. We just won't have one. So I believe that's compromise again between the 2 positions, and that's the suggestion we have.
You meant operating agreement. Look to the operating agreement. You said articles of organization.
Mr. Co-Chairman, I think it's an or statement, if I'm not mistaken, where it would be all of the above. Let me read it again. A member may only withdraw from a decentralized autonomous organization in accordance with the terms set forth in the articles of organization, the smart contracts, or if applicable, the operating agreement.
Oh, I understand. So it's not requiring every DAO to have an operating agreement.
Correct.
That if they put forward this provision in their articles, that would be fine. Or the
Correct.
smart contract.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So any of the above, but it basically implies that you need to have one and there is no default, which honestly seems perfectly reasonable to me. So that.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think every DAO is going to have an operating agreement. That's the whole
They sure should, right?
idea.
All right. So, Mr. Co-Chairman, that's what we would present as a compromise, and I'd be interested in your thoughts and the House thoughts on it.
Well, Mr. Co-Chairman, I would definitely agree that the fee was and is and remains outside of the original scope of the bill. I think that creates a constitutional issue with the bill. You know, we had a mass fee bill passed through the legislature this session, and it did address fees with LLCs, and I think that's the appropriate place to address fees, not in this bill. The heartburn on the House side, my understanding, isn't so much the fee, but it was and is related to the certificate of authorities for foreign entities. So I think that's a really good compromise that we're going to just prohibit those. And I think that's a good place to start with DAOs as well, because the purpose of this legislation is to have new companies form in Wyoming, domiciled here in Wyoming. Otherwise, to have companies transfer to Wyoming. And so that's really the goal, and the benefit to the state of Wyoming is when those companies are here. So I think the state probably has little benefit from the foreign entities getting a certificate of authorization. I do think that's something that, as we keep our thumb on DAOs and we move forward and we're monitoring them year by year, if there's a spike in desire for that and we understand the benefits to Wyoming, I think it's something we can always revisit. So I don't think we're losing anything by doing that. The other amendments that dealt with the articles of organization amendment fees, that makes sense to strike. And I think ultimately the withdrawal situation is probably remedied. It's probably remedied because like I said, I'm really confident that every DAO is going to have an operating agreement. It's where the code part comes into the company scenario, and they're going to specify the terms inside their operating agreement. So I really feel comfortable with that one too.
Great.
Members?
Other thoughts? Everyone comfortable? All right. Anyone want to make that as a motion? We've got a motion, second. Got a motion, a second. All those in favor? Oh, well, any just further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. We will have that drafted, get it signed, and see if we can get that for concurrence in both chambers. Thank you all.
Thank you. Very good.
Conference committee.